Is it good I talk slow or everyone? I talk slow anyway, so
You
I
talk
think
slow anyways, yes.
you don't need to translate me. Okay, so I just want to uh, kind of give you a picture of the process that has taken me from where I started to where I am. So I grew up in a small town. My parents were divorced. I lived with my dad. He was an alcoholic. I left school early and I got different jobs. Like I worked at Burger King. I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I worked as a mover, moving furniture for very little money. I went to go live with my grandfather, and my grandfather was a millionaire, but he was very like he didn't give a lot. He was like very conservative, he just it's not like just because he had money I was going to get money. In fact, my parents, who uh, didn't have much money, they just thought, oh, someday, when they get to inherit money, they will be good. So they were thinking about getting this money from him. And I was like, oh, my grandfather, he will live for a long time. So if I have to, if I am going to get money, it's going to have to be from me, not from somebody else. So I just tried to learn a lot from him. And the way that he made money was he was an architect, someone who designs buildings, who designs houses, the paperwork, the blueprint. And he he found some land and he bought that land because he had some vision. He knew that there was the state, there was like the big city of our state. I grew up in Oregon, so there was the big city, and then there was the capital of that state. And states are like, California, New York. I grew up in a state called Oregon. So there was the big city and there was the capital. And he knew that someday there would be a freeway, there would be a main road between the city and the capital. So he paid someone to take him up in a helicopter, and he mapped out where that road would be someday. And then he bought that farmland really cheap. And the way he made money was he just sat on it for like 20 years until everything became developed, and the Hilton hotels and the restaurants, they all needed to go somewhere. And what's funny is that he basically was, his way of wealth was to hodl, right? He had to hodl that land for many years. And when you think about crypto, when you think about hodling, were any of you aware? I guess you could put a 1, but I'm sure some of you were aware of Bitcoin in 2017 when it first went up to 20,000. Did you hear about this? Any of you? Yeah, so it's funny because from that point in 2017 through 2018, when it was going down, and 2019 and 2020, when Bitcoin got to like $3,000, those 3 years were hard to hodl, right? That was hard for a lot of people because even though they were told to hodl, it just month after month, if you don't, if I see questions already. So yeah, I'm not a big Bitcoin Cash fan. I sold mine, I kept it, and then I don't know. I don't really think that's a project. I mean, they'll all go up, right? So you could throw a dart at a crypto, and when the market goes up, if you're like in the top 100, I mean, right now, well, maybe not today, but a few days ago when I looked at it, the top 100 tokens, even more than a 100, was over $1 billion market cap. So that's crazy. That there's over 100 projects over $1 billion. So I knew that it was going to be up to me to make money. And so I found network marketing when I was 18. I got invited to a meeting and I saw residual income. I thought that was amazing. And then I got into a company, and my first 6 companies, my first 6 in my first 5 years, all went out of business. So I was very worried about startup companies after that. I just felt like that most startup companies go out of business. That becomes very risky as putting your time and energy and effort. And then on the other side is like the biggest companies, you know, Amway and Herbalife, these kind of companies, NSA, you know, Juice Plus, these big companies, they would say, oh, join us, we're the biggest. But I knew that there was opportunity in timing. There's always opportunity in timing. So I just thought, well, McDonald's is the biggest too, but I don't want to go get a job there. So you have to find something between brand new that is probably going to go out of business and something really established, something with the right timing. So still in my early 20s, I became a millionaire because I joined a company with good timing, and then I went to work. And when you do that, people think you're some genius, but sometimes you're just somebody who tried a lot of things and finally something hits. So when you start making, you know, like for me in my 20s, when I was making 10 euro an hour and then making 10,000 euro a month in your 20s, you don't want to go back to making 10 euro an hour. So you start thinking, what is the best way to stay on top? They say it's hard to get to the top, but it's even harder to stay on top. And so I decided that one of the things that's important is to diversify. You know, I read a book called Multiple Streams of Income. And with your business, it takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of focused energy to get that residual income going. It's like a snowball at the top of the mountain. It kind of crumbles a few times, but after a little momentum, it can get so big that you couldn't even stop it if you tried. And so when you think about diversifying, the first thing is you got to focus. You got to start putting money aside to diversify. What right now I see is that the crypto markets are a great place for opportunity. I got fortunate because I was very, when people say that what you give comes back 10 times, right? And you have to be a giving person. So if you learn that, if you learn how to give or that it's important to give, I'm going to tell you a story about giving that made me way more than 10 times back. It made 1,000 times back. So in like early, I don't know, 2012 maybe, I gave some guys some money as a loan. Like they had a business, it was growing. I knew them. I knew that they had collateral. You know what that is? It's like they had something that I could give them the money, but they had money held up by their merchant account, by their Visa MasterCard. So I was able to say, I'll loan you this money, I'll give and help you guys. But I was guaranteed the money back from this collateral. So, you know, a lot of people ask me about loaning money to friends and family. And a lot of times it's not good because, you know, sometimes I'd rather just give the money to family or friends because, you know, a lot of times if they don't pay you back, that destroys the friendship. So I gave these guys the money as a loan, and it took them a couple years to get the money back, but then they paid me in 2015. They paid me in 1,000 Bitcoin back, which today is like $45 million. And I loaned them maybe, I don't know, 100,000. So that's crazy that in basically 5-6 years, that 100,000 could become 45 million. But I didn't believe in Bitcoin in 2015, and I sold it. I sold my Bitcoin. Maybe I got like 60,000 back, and I was like, okay, I got to get out of this Bitcoin. But what it did do is it opened my mind to crypto, because now I had something and I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know about Satoshi. I didn't know about a white paper. I just heard there was this internet money and I didn't know how secure it was, so I sold. But when, you know, when you think about Tesla stock or Facebook stock or Apple stock, we hear it's going really high, we hear it goes low, we hear it goes high, but we don't really care about it because we didn't have it. If someone had given us like 10,000 shares of Apple stock and then we sold it for cheap, we would always know. We would always be thinking like, what's going on with that? So these guys put Bitcoin in my mind, even though I sold it. So I saw it go, I think I had it at like $300 when I sold it. And then I saw it go to $900. And I was like, oh, I'm too late. You know, it's too high. 900 for Bitcoin. Like that's way too much money. So I put $1 million into Ethereum because I thought it was like, I missed Bitcoin, so I'll get the next one. And I bought it at like $37. So you can see Ethereum, and I held on to it in 2017 and watched it drop, and I just held on to it. I sold some like a couple months ago, but from $37 to like $4,000. So that's only because I gave someone before. I was giving, and then it put something into my mind when they gave it back to me in a different way. But I learned a few lessons from that. Number one is you never want to sell anything you don't understand the value of. Before I sold, I should have said, okay, what is Bitcoin? I should have learned something, Satoshi and white paper and the future of money and blockchain, but I didn't. So now in 2017, I put some money in the stock with InvestView because I thought that there could be something in the future with trading. I liked crypto by then, and I bought a bunch of stock at 1 penny, and now it's much higher, and it will go much higher. But I guess what I want to say is that when you find a company that is not a $1 billion company already, that's established, that's not a brand new startup, but is kind of in the sweet spot of a few things. Number one, their operations, the people that run it, is their transparency, because even we are, watched over by the government with SEC filings, and we're publicly traded, and we're very transparent in what we do. One of the things that happened after I put stock into the company was that the money I put into the company, when I first put it in 2017, the company wasn't run that well. And so in 2019, I put up more money to take over control because I had friends in the company, and they have families, and they have people they count on. And I didn't want to just see it go away when we have so much power and potential of what it could be. And I knew if we have the right operations and then the right people, there's a book called Good to Great, and it says that if you get the right people on the bus and they're in the right seats, you can create a multi-billion-dollar company. So I went out and looked for the right people. We found some already working for the company. They just needed to be in the right seats. And so far, when you create a comp plan, operation, I lost, sorry. The brand, the product line. So one of the things with the product line is that I wanted products that people could just become a customer and put their money in and then make money. But what I didn't want is where you put money in to some place in some other jurisdiction that we don't have control, with some random ICO or some project where they just run off with the money. So one of the powerful things about the trade alerts, the crypto AI with Crypto Elite, the different products we have, is that even Endow is that you hold on to your money. You hold on to your 12 words, your private keys, you hold on to the money on the exchange, you only give them access to trade your funds. But if you keep custody of your own funds, then we're showing the transparency that we don't need your money, and we don't want your money. We want you to see your own money grow. So that's very rare. A lot of times you'll just send off your money somewhere, and then you'll get reports that's going up, and then someday they disappear with the money. I've had that happen to me 2 or 3 times, and I don't want my name on a company that does that. So the vision of iGenius, the real vision, is that you have to think that for us to become big, and for you to make the money you need to make, you need to be with the right company with the right vision. And to have that right vision, we have to be innovative. We have to have innovation. We can't just have a comp plan and put trade alerts to it And that's been done so many times. It's nothing special. We need to have something that is very special, that focuses on big ideas like DeFi, decentralized finance, like, you know, yield farming, like, which NDAO is the DeFi yield farming project of Cosmos. And I'm a big fan of the Atom token. I see the innovation there. I believe a lot in Polkadot projects. I believe a lot in what we call the ETH Mafia, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot. I see what's going to happen with crypto is it's going to replace most of the country's way of doing business from now into the future. It's going to change. Right now, what you guys are experiencing right now in your situation where you are in this world at this time, we are experiencing the biggest wealth transfer that has ever been seen in the history of the world. Right now, trillions of dollars are trading hands into people's hands that have the opportunity. And look what is happening with control. We're told that, and I don't want to get political, but let's be realistic. We're told a year ago, a little over a year ago, that there's a disease in China that people are dropping dead so fast that there's so many bodies on the street that people are walking over the bodies, and that it's possibly coming to us. So all of a sudden, if you would have talked to people a year ago and said, hey, you know how in China everybody wears a mask? You know, we're going to see that around the world. You would say, no way. Even if the government said that to us, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't have that. But they've been able to do it very quickly. They've been able to do what they want very quickly, whether that's a mask that you wear, whether that's time of day that you're allowed to go outside, whether it's vaccines that they're doing, whether it's whatever they tell you, right? It's definitely planned. And the way we know it's planned is that all the countries of the world don't ever agree on anything. They don't just, you know, they fight about every little thing, and they don't like, these people don't like this country and this country doesn't like this country. But look at how fast the whole world just said, okay, and every government took over control of their people. You know, it makes you think. So how this relates to iGenius is that if you look at the plan of the governments, it's almost like they want us to go back to royalty and peasants. Royalty where the people with money are winning big, and then most everybody goes down to lower poverty. You know, they let Walmart and Costco and the big companies stay open, and then they let all the little companies close for a year and just slaughter the middle. They kill the middle. We're in the United States, we're supposed to be a prosperous country with money. But they said that over 200 million people in the last year, over 200 million, which is like half of our country, has gone down to poverty. Half of the country. So, and we're supposed to be prosperous. So imagine in really bad countries that they don't have the resources. How much could it be? 80% they're pushing into poverty, 90%. So the way I feel is that iGenius is the only chance that we have when we talk about innovation and stability and what we can do over the next 3 to 5 years and this wealth transfer. this is our chance to give the power back to the people that are losing their wealth from the way the government is treating everyone. So it's our big opportunity to say, you know what, we need to get involved and we need to get people making money. A year ago, my dad asked me what coins he should get. You know, he opened up a Coinbase account and I told him 5 coins and he had $10,000 and he took the money. Now, like 2 months ago, was $110,000. And I told him, sell 100,000, even sell his Bitcoin. And you could keep 10,000 in, maybe of ETH and some others, but just sell. And so he sold and he has 100,000. He put in his BlockFi. I had him open up a BlockFi account and you get 8% on that. So I think on his 100,000, he makes like $200 a week residual just on that in 1 year. And he still has his 10,000 in crypto. Now he has 100,000 in BlockFi, paying him $200 a week. People are asking me, okay, you told us 5 coins last year, what 5 coins right now? And I tell people, look, we're at a multi-trillion-dollar market cap now. And we are double, even at 40 plus 40,000 per Bitcoin, we're over double the all-time high. The last all-time high was 20,000. We're more in this run, in this bull run, we're more than double the all-time high. So if you look at the markets logically, then you can say, is more than double the all-time high going to be the next forever low? Meaning, is 40,000 the lowest it's ever going to get when it's even double the last all-time high? It doesn't, like, markets don't work like that. So what I'm telling people, put your cash on the side. Don't buy any coins right now. You could put your money in NDAO because we have a stable gains with that. You can put your money in Crypto Elite because that's an algorithm where you can make money even when the market goes down. But don't just go buy a bunch of coins because you think that Ethereum's going to go to 50,000 or Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000. I think someday Bitcoin will be 100,000 and you could get Bitcoin right now and still win long term. But I think it's going to go much cheaper. Like by the end of the year, I think just like every cycle, we're going up. You know, something will happen, we'll go back down. And when we have those really red, bloody days in the market, go pick up some more token. If you feel like you know what the next random altcoin is going to be, I think there's places, small pockets where you could still win right now over the next few months. If you know the next NFT project or the next big DeFi project coming. But I don't like to pick like needle in a haystack kind of thing. I like to put money into crypto when like everything is winning. So right now we're a little bit down, but I feel like we could go down further this year and then we get some real buying opportunities. Remember, Bitcoin was only 3,000 a year ago. And Ethereum was like 200 and people were saying, will it ever go to 300? And now it's 4,000. So the thing that people learned or should have learned in 2017 was everybody wants crypto when it's this high, when everybody's making money. They want to just put more money and more money in. And then the year later, like 2018, 2019, when it was really cheap, and nobody was talking about it. Nobody wanted to buy. I was buying then. I didn't sell in 2017 because there wasn't easily ways out for big amounts. Now you can liquidate on anything. You can liquidate your crypto on CoinZoom. You can liquidate your crypto on crypto.com. You can liquidate it on Celsius, on Nexo, on BlockFi, on Coinbase. Like there's so many entrances and exits out of crypto. And I love our CoinZoom card. You guys are gonna see some cool features because I know since you're in another country, they just launched a feature that went live. They're getting Visa. Visa approved it, so they're putting together the tech to be able to do it. But what you'll be able to do is they're going to have cards for Europe, but before they even have cards for Europe, they have a feature where you can send your money from CoinZoom to another debit card, any other debit card in the world. And when you send in your back office, you get 5% cash back in crypto when it's like you spent it. So if you send $100 from CoinZoom to your other debit card, you're going to get 5% in crypto. Then you can send it to the debit card and spend it there and get more cash back on that card. So it's an interesting thing to be in my position because I look for projects that excite me, because I feel like the way that we become innovative and have value is we take products that people don't have access to. Like Endotech, you need $100,000 to buy an institutional license. But if you don't have $100,000, you just come in and buy the elite pack. You know, if you don't have a ton of money for the black card, you could come in for CoinZoom, get that. Our travel platform, our NDAO platform, our crypto trading and education platform, all the platforms that we have, it's like we want to have this innovative company that goes out and partners with real big tech financial projects that you couldn't get access to. So if you look at all these people said, well, why didn't you just create an iGenius token? Well, every company that does that seems to be a scam, like fake coins, OneCoin and Dagcoin and Ormeus Coin and Clubcoin. All these coin projects, they don't have real fundamentals and value. And so what we do is we bring real companies with real white papers and real tech teams and real innovation, and we create our own adoption in the marketplace. People say, hey, is there even room for CoinZoom? Because there's already like crypto.com. And I'm like, do you think Venmo or Cash App cared that PayPal already exists? We create the value of our own platform. It's like if PayPal came to us and said, hey, we're PayPal, we want to come with you. You can get your people in early. We're going to even have a PayPal token that people can get a hold of for very inexpensive. That's what happened with CoinZoom. And we'll be adding even possibly another card platform that is just as strong in the future. We want to make sure that people have options. We're not just a company that creates a product and then makes you buy that one product. We don't even do that. We go out and we partner with already the best projects. And if something beats Endotech in the future, we're going to replace it with that. If something beats CoinZoom in the future, we're going to replace it with that. If something beats NDAO in the future, we're not stuck on any one thing. We want to bring the best value because you guys are selling this to your friends and family or people that you love and care about. And it's our responsibility to make sure that when you put money in, you make the most money possible, because that means more memberships get sold, more money back for you guys, the company gets bigger. And I don't take a salary. I don't take any money from the company. I grow with the stock. And so my goal is to make sure that the company is multi-billion-dollar company. So we have a lot of money with the stock. And the only way that it'll be that big is that if you guys are talking about it so much because you just keep making a lot of money. So I guess I can answer some questions.
Talking about like the PPPs, you know, present, prospect, promote, and to-dos, every daily to-dos and stuff, and 2 a day. And then yeah, we came up to that to the topic first lines, right? And we've seen that someone that has the most first lines is most likely has the biggest team and most success. Now, the question for you is, how many first lines have you set when you were building?
Well, I did a number of companies,
Yeah.
Through my career. So I'm just trying to give you the average, but I wasn't necessarily a recruiting machine. Like, I didn't just sponsor and hope that somebody would work. I think that if you do that, you're like more a salesperson. But if you try to sponsor only a few people and then hope they're going to work, then that can go against you as well. What I always looked for was just somebody with desire that wanted it as much as I did. And I usually went after people usually try to sponsor someone who is less, than they are. Like, maybe they have a little less business experience, maybe they have a little less money because they want to help somebody. And when you do that, you're sponsoring down because it's an easy person, where maybe the best person to find would be someone that has a little bit more money than you, that has a little bit more business experience than you. And you can go and you can say, hey, I'm involved in something you should look at. And then let even your upline tell their story, because they have credibility with some, with this other person. A lot of times, I'm rounding this. I'm making this question longer than it should be, but the final answer is, like, for me, I think I became a millionaire with only like maybe 37, 40 people enrolled, but I probably enrolled maybe 60 and 20 quit. But again, I was literally like whale hunting in a way. I mean, they didn't have to be network marketing people. They just have to be stronger than myself. So like the quality is, I always focused on the quality of the people more than I know millionaires right now you can do it different ways. I know a couple different people in other companies that have 4,000 enrolled. They've got 400 active front lines or 800 active front lines, but they're using social media to just go through massive numbers. When I found someone good, I realized that, like, a lot of times if they knew me, I wasn't able to get them because they know me too well. And so a lot of times people that know you, they trust you. They trust you because they know you, but they don't necessarily respect you as the person that's going to help them become rich. And so if they may respect a stranger that they don't know, but they don't trust them. So if you use your trust to introduce your friend or somebody that you want to somebody else that has a little success, then you can use your trust and their respect to help get the person that you want to have in the business. And I think it's a lot about posture, like just it's like human nature, you know. It's the same in dating, you know, as it is in business. It's like if somebody's pulling on you, you don't want it. It's like there's nothing attractive about that. But if you kind of like push people away because you don't have time. So for example, if I'm talking to somebody and I said, hey, are you open to looking at something? And they say, yeah, tell me about it. Like, tell me what it's going. And you just say, well, I don't have time right now, but let's sit down like 15 minutes so we can show you what it is, because you want to see the whole picture. I don't care if people tell me no, but they have to know what they're saying no to. And whenever somebody says like, oh, just tell me what it is really quick, you get excited, like, oh, somebody wants to listen to me. And they start, you start saying like, oh, it's this great thing and you can make money. And then all of a sudden they see that you want them. And so they start pushing away. Oh no, they're selling me something. But if you say, you know what, I'm too busy right now, but let's get 15 minutes. I always say I never share the business on my feet, only on my seat, only if the person's giving me time. If somebody's not going to give you 15 minutes to even look at what you have, how are they going to give you a year of work or 2 years of work? So like everything is about confidence, posture, everything with confidence. Like if two people get stuck in an elevator for 24 hours, the person with the stronger beliefs is going to influence the other person. The person with the stronger confidence is always going to attract people. So if you think like this is kind of a good company, then your business might be kind of okay. If you think this is the best opportunity in the history of the world and everybody's got to take a look at it, it's like showing them gold in your backyard, you're going to have success because you're not in the business. The business is inside you. Like it comes out of you. That power comes out of you. You feel it. And when you think about talking to someone, I talked to someone and said, oh, I can't sell any of these products. I can't get anybody to buy. And then you talk to somebody else and they said, everybody that talks to me is buying. Nobody says no. It's like, what is the difference between those two people? You know, what is the difference? It's like, if I sell a $1,500 elite pack and someone says, well, I don't know how you're selling so many elite packs. I can't sell one. You have to ask yourself what you are selling, what you are sharing, what you are showing people. Like if I took this, pair of glasses and I said, hey, buy these from me for 1,500 cash right now, most would say, no, I don't need a pair of glasses that's used for 1,500 cash. But if I said that I give you 5 Lamborghinis brand new for 1,500, everybody would say, even if you don't have the money, you would go out and find it within like 10 minutes because you could sell those Lamborghinis for way more. But what I tell people is, I would rather have this business than those 5 Lamborghinis, because in this business, you can make more money than the president of the United States. You could make that much to buy one of those Lamborghinis every month. It's like the value that you're showing people. So when I was talking about the idea of pulling on someone, desperation, just imagine if you have the confidence when you talk to people that you don't need anybody, because everybody's gonna come with you anyway. Then you're going to become an attractive person in life and business. You don't feel like you need anyone, but you do. You need people, but you just definitely don't want people to feel that. You want people to feel like you have something so special. I've had people call me up and say, I want to join you because you know where you're going. I feel like all of you have joined me already in this vision. It's like if I met Elon Musk 10 years ago, I would say, and I don't even put myself in that category at all, obviously. But if I'm meeting Elon Musk 10 years ago and I'm talking to him one day, I'm like, listen, whatever you're doing, I want to do it. Whatever money you're putting in, I want to do it. I'm going to follow you. What iGenius is it's the accumulation of an idea of really smart visionary people that want a whole community succeeding. We pay out more money than any other comp plan in our space. Like, find a digital company even that even comes close. It's like every part of our bonuses is just adding more and more money to it. Why? Because the people behind the company were already rich and successful. The people behind the company are going to win on the stock. They don't need to take money out of the company. We can put it all back to the people driving the business, which is going to create more stories than any other company, which is going to drive the stock up. And you guys can become equity owners too. So someone once said to me, is it what you know or who you know, right? Is it what you know or who you know? And I asked a millionaire that question once, and they said, it's not just who you know, but even more importantly, who knows you? Like, what have you done in your life to make a mark where people automatically start hearing about you? Do you know how it feels like when I get on a call and someone says, oh, I don't know if you remember, but I saw you or I know you, but I may not know them. But if they know me, then it means that I did enough in my life to be known to certain people, to maybe the right people. So I would say the same thing to you. Like, there's a lot of value right now in this condensed period of time where we have this opportunity in the world where so much money is changing hands, where we have something with innovation. I mean, I want all of you guys to succeed massively. And I think that if I talk to someone and they say, well, how did you make millions? I don't know how to do that. And I said, well, I did it talking. And they said, well, I don't talk like you. Well, can you learn? Because people say, well, you don't talk fast, you don't have a lot of energy when you talk. But if you're an energetic person, you're going to attract people. You are. It's good to be an energetic person. But if you're not naturally that, it's better not to fake, right? Better to be authentic, better to be yourself, because people will be attracted by your realness, by your transparency, by your honesty, by your integrity, and also just like who you are. They'll feel like, oh, I trust this person with my money because they want me to win. They put things in place so my people win. So I think what's special about what we have right now is that if you want to make a lot of money, like if you read a lot of books and you read, Think and Grow Rich, if you read books in history, throughout history with success, you're going to learn that leverage is the key to wealth. They say, oh, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own, right? That leverage. But the stock market is even more leverage than energy time. The stock market can be thousands of times instead of just 1% of 100 people. The crypto market, trillions. The leverage in crypto is crazy. So I would just say that the key is that you use all your energy and effort, your time, to build up this income. And then you take that income and you put it into other forms of leverage. Like I said, put the money aside, and then the right moment, buy the right tokens, buy some stock, experience the growth with other forms of leverage, and then you'll have multiple, streams of income. So let's see, I'll show you. We talk about a product of the product, right? So a few months ago, I was like, here's my little NDAO, right? So I was like, hey, this looks good. So I put $1 million into it. And without, doing anything, now it's $1.9 million. So while I've been doing other things and other time stuff, it's like 450K a month in growth, because I believe in the products we have, just stable gains, steady growth, the crypto elite, the NDAO. You have to think, where do you have to be in your life where you're just going to take $1 million and lock it up for 3 years, not even think about it, right? Where you don't even need that million. It's because that you've used the time now. The time now is the most important thing. Like when I was making 10 euro an hour, I didn't have a lot of friends, a lot of contacts, a lot of the right people. I just immersed myself. I didn't join the business. The business was inside of me. That was the key. And someone said to me when I was in my 20s, they said, if you're going to grow a tree that becomes a monster tree, monster growth, when is the best time to plant a tree? And they said, well, 20 years ago. Well, we don't have 20 years ago. All we have is the second best time is this second. This second is the best time, because over the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, by the end of this year? What if all of a sudden you went to work and at the end of the year, Bitcoin got so low and your iGenius check got good enough where you just decided to buy a Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoin? But you didn't even care about that. You just put those aside and you kept getting that residual income and it kept going higher, and you could put the money in other forms of leverage. So any other questions? I think I've been talking for an hour.
Wow. Okay. Christian wants actually to say something. Christian, you are co-host already, so
He's not allowed.
Hey, come on, Brian.
Senior Director of Sales, guys. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you, Richie, and of course, Brian. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, and the people always drop in here, man, listening to those nuggets. One thing I want to point out, there's a couple of things. So, everyone's like, wow, these nuggets that are being dropped. It's interesting how many times as we are growing up, as we're trying to make decisions, we start listening to the people that don't have what we want more than the people that do have what we want. And what I mean by that is a lot of times, my parents, they weren't great with money. They spent money a lot of times quicker than they would make money. And throughout the beginning part of my life, I would listen to them on decisions about money. Yet, while I was listening to them, they were making poor decisions about money. So why did I think they were going to say something that would help me make good decisions about money? And so I started to change my mindset there. And I started to listen to the people that had what I wanted. Now, one thing that's really interesting is in this industry, it's very similar. The people around you, the people that know you, they want to know what you're doing different than them. They want to know what you're doing that makes the opportunity that you have better than what they're currently doing. And to be a product of the product is crazy important. One thing that I can't do at corporate is I cannot build a team. That's not what I'm good at. I've not been great at it. I've sold a lot of the product, and I've built my own team, so to speak. But what I do is I love to use the product. And so that's crazy important for me, is to be a product of that product. It's really helped me get into a much better financial situation, building a home, paying off cars, doing things that I would have never done. And in doing so, people have then turned to me and asked me, what is it that you're doing? I'm not necessarily going out and recruiting crazy amounts of people, but people are saying, man, what is it that you're doing? This is different than what you've done in the past. And so, one of the things that Brian just talked about is taking money and setting it aside in something where you don't need that money immediately. And that was that thing for me as well. Now, I didn't drop $1 million into it, but what felt like $1 million to me when I put it in there has now doubled and then some. And it's an amazing feeling to be in a situation where I don't have to be pulling that 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 out because my spending habits or what I'm doing with money is not healthy. It's getting yourself into a better place. And then, of course, one of the other things that Brian said that I think is very important is it's not always quantity over quality, especially in dating, as he alluded to, but also when you're talking about recruiting people, it's about the quality of people that you have, that you're building. Now, we have people on teams that they have 175, 180 people that are active. But one of the amazing things that we have going for us at iGenius is when people come into the business, they typically stay for a good amount of time. We have one of the best retention rates I've seen in the industry, and it's a good feeling. So let's make sure that as we're bringing individuals in, we're making sure that we are using them properly. It's not just find the right people and put them on the right seats in corporate, but it's also on your teams too. You're going to have people that are strong at training. You have people that are strong at doing so many different things that are true leaders. You can't really train someone to be a leader, but put them in that spotlight, let them shine. And I really think that you can see a lot of success about that. But I love getting on these calls. You know, Richie asked me to pass on the link over to Brian, and I took the opportunity to just click on it and listen, because I love to hear it. You know, I hear different things every time he speaks, and it helps me. You know, even though I can't do everything that Brian does as far as, you know, dollar amount or, you know, success wise, I'm doing what successful people do. I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of someone that I admire. And I'm not the rah-rah hype type person either. I'm pretty even keeled. I'm pretty calm. But when I talk, I hope that there's power behind my words, and those powers come from my actions, and knowing with confidence that what I've done with my money and what I've done with, you know, my relationship at corporate strengthens what we have in the long run. I've been in the industry for almost 20 years now, and I haven't seen in the other companies that I've been with the amount of product use and conviction behind the product that we have than I've seen here with iGenius. So, you know, I just wanted to jump on, say a few things. Of course, you know, say thank you to Brian, because he is a huge part of why we are where we're at today. You know, him taking control of decision making and the vision of this company has been absolutely amazing. You know, to see from the corporate side, and I know you guys see it from the distributor and the customer side. So thanks, Richie, for letting me you know, hijack the call for a couple minutes. And Brian, as always, thank you.
Let me just say about Christian real quick. So first of all, it would have been impossible to do all the things that we have done without Christian. He is like, if you've worked with him, been helped by him, he's like works 24/7 every moment he can. Christian will become very, very successful in life because he took the principle of just add a bunch of value, don't ask questions, just keep adding value, and you know, you'll be rewarded. But he also has not just added value, he takes initiative too. He buys InvestView stock, he buys some Endow, he gets some CoinZoom, he puts some money, he gets on these calls and here's what you guys are doing, and he tries to put his money into some of that too, like conservatively, you know, long term. But I've listened to a number of educators on wealth. There's different people that have taken fast routes, have taken more slow, longer routes. I've listened to this guy, Dave Ramsey, a lot. And just as somebody, you know, I listen to crypto stuff too. I listen to Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank. I listen to a lot of different Elon Musk. I listen to Joe Rogan. I just listen to random stuff. But when I listen to Dave Ramsey, he talks about that there are literally nurses at hospitals that become millionaires because it isn't how much you make, it's what you do with what you keep. And it's like, that's how I see Christian, is like, he's just like, hey, I'm not getting as big as you guys, but I'm still like in the stock, I'm in the token, I'm seeing a little gains from this and that. And I like that he doesn't just work for the company, it's like in him too, you know, he's on all the products and loves it and loves you guys. And the bigger we get collectively, everybody wins, even our corporate guys. So I don't know how we found a Christian in the world. I don't know how we got lucky for that, but we got super lucky. Chad and Christian are like the double duo power tag team champions. Ultimate Wrestling, whatever, but they are like a godsend, and everybody that works with them from Austin and Jamie and all the people are awesome. So thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Brian, do you have any time left for maybe 1, 2, 3 last questions?
Go for it.
There was one. What do you think about fake it till you make it? Because that is like currently, I'm gonna be fully honest. Like there is regarding that is like a little bit drama going on inside our team.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that idea. But let me tell you why. It's because there's so much unhappiness that you see in like Instagram, but you see a lot of fake happiness, right? Like if a couple, a husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend start fighting and they are really mad at each other or about to break up, like the girl or the guy always posts on Instagram, like, we got this great relationship, or like trying to show something that it's not, or show to the other person that, I don't know, to show to the world. I just feel like there's so much fake stuff that you get exposed very easily as when you get pressed. Like who wants a fake winner? You know what I mean? Who wants a poser? Who wants there's enough. Like again, I don't put myself in the category of Elon Musk, but I'm giving you an example. So if I had nothing at all, I once had a Ferrari and I lost it, and I lost all my money, and I was starting over completely. I wouldn't pretend that I had a bunch of money in my bank, but I would go to people and I would get them to join, because they would feel that I'm going to the top or I'm going to die trying. Like my authenticity, my fact where I am, let's say I partnered with an Elon Musk kind of guy, I'd say, listen, I'm not where I need to be right now. I know what it's like to be on top. I'm not where I need to be right now, or I'm not where I need to be yet, but I work with this guy. He's brilliant. We got to be with him. So, when I first started reading books on success, they used to laugh at all the guys faking it, because they were like posers and they were exposed and they were found out, and there wasn't anything necessary to lie. But then you listen to millionaires who are like, hey, that fake it till you make it way isn't the way. Let's go with, keeping a lean machine. I don't care if you live in a tiny apartment and you don't have anything left. Sell your TV. This business will get you a lot further than that TV will. You can buy projector screens and big flat screens in the future. Right now, it's time to, get tough. I don't know. I watched this interview that Elon Musk did about, he sold all his possessions, all his material things. And he said, I sold all my material things. I sold my house, I sold everything. And people are like, why? You sold your cars. He probably has a Tesla, but he sold all his stuff. And he said, well, I had bought this house and the house was amazing. I think it was like the guy who played Willy Wonka, like in the first Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like he bought that house. And so he was like making the master bedroom like something amazing. And he said, one day I realized that when I was fixing the bedroom the way I wanted it, I realized that that took brain energy. And every bit of brain energy is important. And so I had to realize, is fixing this room more important than going to Mars and building houses on Mars someday? And he was like, no, Mars is more important. So he sold everything because it's like the focus of that. I had a Rolls Royce and a Lamborghini in my driveway. They just sat for like a couple months. I was traveling and I sold both of them because I was like, it's a waste. I don't drive them. So, and if you want something, like for me, I probably would say more than those cars in the driveway. I want more Ethereum. I want more, like right now, I think your net worth and what you build up is way important than fake lifestyle on social media. Someone said, you spend your life impressing people that don't care about you anyway. It's like, what's the point?
But is acting as if, that's not the same, right?
No, because acting as if is an internal power.
So
It's
there's
the confidence. Is acting as if doesn't need to be lying. It's what you tell yourself, not what you tell the other people. If you say to yourself every morning, today I'm worth $1 million and I'm going to go out and I'm going to act like that. That doesn't mean that acting and talking are two different things too. Somebody saying it and then them not believing, or you having that internal confidence. So what is the real issue here? Somebody's faking it on Instagram or pretending, taking a picture in front of a car and saying it's theirs and it's not, or what?
No, not specifically. I don't even know how to explain it.
Okay. But let's call it this, that fake lives on Instagram are exposed. I mean, there's literally YouTube videos of millionaire gurus getting exposed on YouTube about they live a fake life. Like, what's the point of that? Yeah. What else is on your mind? Are we done? Young team.
All right.
By the way, I went to Latvia once.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Riga. It was probably 10 years ago.
Oh.
It was it was fun. It was very dark. Like even in the daytime, it was dark. It was very like, I saw some castles. I went to Riga and there was like a little mini casino there. I like it. I only was there for a couple days, but I do want to come back.
All right. We will gonna wait for you to come again to
Yes.
Latvia. When COVID is over, we're gonna do a massive event. And then we want you to have with us.
So people ask, what would be advice for people that just start out? Like, I love to talk with confidence. So you don't have to know everything, but it's important that you know enough, that you've listened to enough of the videos, that you've watched the presentation, that you're involved in the product. So you feel confident with what this is. Like for somebody starting out, just like immerse yourself in, even if you don't have the money to invest in everything, learn about it, you know, watch the videos. I made a lot of money trading crypto on my own because one day I decided in 2017 that I was just gonna learn this crypto thing. And I read a bunch of Reddits and YouTube videos, and I probably spent like 10 hours a day for 6 months just learning crypto and all the different projects and how they work and what is blockchain, what could it do in the future. And if you love learning something that's like something like this, it can pay you very well. Because if you look at the millionaires that are young, when I was young, the millionaires were all like gray haired. Now you have like 20-year-old millionaires, the Instagram, the Facebook, Elon, all these guys, even Mark Zuckerberg, you know, they got these high IQs and the genius type people. But you don't have to be a genius to be somebody that connects people together. You just have to have some confidence and you have to be willing to want to learn this. And we have so much education, like go through the back office and just start going through it. And then once you learn a little, then you're going to want to tell everybody. I never bought Doge in my life. I don't know if I ever will. It's still to me like a fake coin, but I know it's probably going to be something. Maybe I'll buy some when it's like super cheap and everything drops as like part of it, but I would not get in it right now. No way. I think everything's gonna go way worse. Yeah, it'll die down.
Miguel was asking how many people for you to come on an event.
I don't know. It's not always about people. Sometimes it's just about the time, like in schedule. But I would say we should have like at least 500.
All right. Then we have a goal here in Latvia.
Good.
Sure.
Easy. Okay. Well, good to talk to you. Thanks, Richard, for putting it together and for your commitment and just what you said in the beginning of the call about that you just kind of follow us, even though, you know, we haven't met. I always meet somebody that's serious like this when they're focused, and then later I'm like, whoa, they're crown. And I remember like, oh, that's because they were dedicated now. You can't become crown unless you're in the mindset you are right now, you know, so that's good. And I appreciate all you guys. I see a lot of young faces, all attractive people, ready to set the world on fire.
Hell
right?
yes. Well, big thanks to you, Brian. Like really, I really mean it. Really mean it. Much love. We're really, really grateful for having you here with us.
Thank you.
And getting
all right, guys. Have a good week. And it's the start of a new week. Well, we start on Fridays, but the regular work world. So make it happen.
Yes, thank you very much, Brian. See you soon again.
See you. Bye, guys.
All right. Damn. Whew. Pavisam ātri, jo vienkārši. Road to 1 million. Jūs atceraties to zvanu? Mēs viņu taisīsim nākošu pirmdienu. Okay? It's gonna be a crazy ass good team call. Es nezinu, vai viņš būs labāks par šo, bet viņš būs arī ļoti labs. Okay? So road to 1 million postponed next Monday. Okay? Par outdoor meetingiem es jau teicu, okay, so ja jums ir prospekti, mēs varam Rīgā iet un ārā kaut kur satikties, okay, manā timesheet rakstat iekšā adresi, nezinu, herbārijā, vēl kaut kur citur. Un tad šo ceturtdienu Emīls taisīs Right Expectations zvanu, īpaši priekš visiem jauniņiem, okay, īpaši priekš visiem jauniņiem, Right Expectations call, jā, lai tev ir pareizs priekšstats. Pret šo visu biznesu, okay, ilgtermiņā nāc uz ceturtdienas zvanu, 9:00, Emīls Lauris, okay. Yes, guys, all right, tas bija viss, mēs tiekamies jau drīz atkal, let's go.